Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker is one of those crazy fights where we have no idea what is going to happen, which is what makes it that much more exciting. On one hand, we have Khamzat Chimaev, a 13-0 undefeated welterweight that has moved up the weight class where he is stronger, faster, and scarier. What makes him so scary is that he is the definition of a complete fighter. He is one of the most feared grapplers in the sport that is perfectly complemented by the devastating power in his hands as well. But with all that being said, there are major questions on if Khamzat Chimaev is able to go 5 rounds with the very best fighters in the world with his very suspect cardio and discipline that we have seen from him in his most recent fights. And on the other hand, we have the former UFC middleweight world champion in Robert Whittaker, who is easily one of the best fighters at 185 pounds in the UFC's history for always remaining at the top of the heat. He is a complex puzzle on the feet with his karate-based style that consists of combination that keeps his opponents guessing until they're either unconscious or on the wrong side of a decision. Now, the biggest question with Robert Whittaker is simply if he can survive the early onslaught thrown at him by Khamzat Chimaev that we have seen many times before. Many people think he can with his wrestling background and social proof of going 25 hard minutes twice with Yoel Romero, who is a world champion in freestyle wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an exciting fight. We're going deep into each fighter, their fighting styles, their tendencies, their weaknesses, their strengths, and we're gonna break it down. We're gonna make a prediction, and hopefully we're gonna make some money at the end of this video. Let's get it started. Oh my God, we're fucking buzzing right now. So first and foremost, we're getting right into Khamzat Chimaev. So strengths, we know he has 2 massive strengths. First and foremost, his wrestling. His wrestling is incredible. This wrestling is what made him become so famous, so fast, so early on in his UFC career. He has a boxing style stance. It reminds me of Petr Yan a little bit, but he has devastating power in his hands that can put you to sleep with one striking exchange. Ask Gerald Marshall. What's his name? Gerald Mart. I know his name. I just don't know how to pronounce it.
Gerald Mearshart.
There we go. Gerald Mearshart. You know who I'm talking about. God damn it. And another thing with him, he's also capable of dropping you with the jab. He's got power in both hands, guys. That's what I'm saying. You know that. He can knock you with any limb. Any limb. He can throw an ear at you. Another thing with Khamzat Chimaev, he's got great kicks. He utilizes his left kick very well. He throws it to the calf, he throws it to the body, and he throws it to the head. But we all know the biggest strength of Khamzat Chimaev that has got him to this position is his god-tier grappling, his god-tier wrestling, and his god-tier control of his opponent on the mat. Now, we all know that Khamzat Chimaev, one of his most common things he does right when the fight starts, he charges forward, he shoots in for a very fast double leg takedown, and if he doesn't get the double leg, he'll switch it to a single leg and eventually get the trip. He usually always gets his opponent down when he does this technique. If he has no respect for your wrestling and your grappling and he knows he's better than you, he's going to charge at you like, I'm trying to think of a funny reference. He's gonna charge at you like flies on shit. That's the best I got today, guys. Sorry. Forgive me. And basically, just to put Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling and grappling into perspective, we got to mention his fight with Kamaru Usman. Sure, Kamaru Usman took it on 2 weeks' notice, I believe, but still, it means something. So up until that point where Kamaru Usman fought Khamzat Chimaev, he's only been taken down in his UFC career, I think in his entire MMA career, actually once, and that was against Leon Edwards. Khamzat Chimaev took him down 4 times. 4 times and had him in some terrible positions. He had him completely flattened out on his stomach, and then he also had him in a fully locked in rear naked choke. The last thing we have to mention when it comes to Khamzat Chimaev's ground game is that he has devastating ground and pound. He does this motion. Oh, look, perfect. Watch, I got props. So he does this motion where Brock Lesnar would, like do punches like this, hammer punches. That's terrible. Khamzat Chimaev will instead use the pinky and whatever this finger is, the smaller part of the hand where there's less protection. And he'll do that because he'll cut up his opponent's face more and there's less protection, and obviously it's just more, you'll see it and you can hear it. You can hear the difference. If you watched MMA enough, you can hear the difference and you just will understand what I'm talking about, I hope. And the very last thing with Khamzat Chimaev is that he has several different submission threats on the ground. So his most common one is the rear naked choke. He's very good at fighting the hands. Even if you're defending it, the rear naked choke perfectly, like Li Jingliang, throw it up, he'll switch it right back. He'll switch it right back until you go to sleep. So He's very good at just controlling his opponent and just manipulating them in a way that he wants to get the fight finished. Now we got to talk about Robert Whittaker. So Robert Whittaker, we mentioned that he is a phenomenal striker. He has that kind of karate taekwondo blitz style where he'll blitz in with a couple strike combination and blitz out. He has really good distance management. He has excellent kicks. His favorite patent combination is the jab cross high kick. That's his bread and butter. And the thing with Robert Whittaker, he doesn't throw a crazy variety of combos. He throws like a few combos, but just switches up the tempo of them throughout the fight. And I think one of my favorite personal attributes of his striking game is that he has such a sick jab. And another thing that is one of Robert Whittaker's most effective strikes is the oblique kick. Shout out John Jones as well. His oblique kick exploded Darren Till's knee. His oblique kick even blown up Yoel Romero's knee. So that's also a really good kick. If I'm Robert Whittaker, I would be hesitant to throw it. I would be cautious to throw it, but I would definitely throw it. And then the reason why this fight is so interesting is that Robert Whittaker is not just a striker, he's also a great grappler as well. He's capable of taking anyone down, at least that's what we all think. He also has great takedown defense. I mentioned it in the intro to this video. He's gone 25 minutes with Yoel Romero twice, and that is all the social proof we need. He had great scrambles in both those fights. He is very clever with creating space, getting back up to his feet. But with all that being said, he does have a lot of weaknesses like we all do. So Robert Whittaker, as of late, I don't want to say he has a suspect chin, but he's definitely been cracked, and Khamzat Chimaev is capable of cracking it again. And another thing with this fight is that with a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, with a guy like Islam Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov, these crazy grapplers, you got to put them on the back step. You can't respect their takedown abilities. You got to charge forward. You got to throw strikes. You got to throw caution to the wind. And with Robert Whittaker's style, it's a little difficult, or pretty difficult, because he's a point fighter. He blitzes in, blitzes out, blitzes in, blitzes out. So it's hard with that style if he's going to be constantly pressing forward against Khamzat Chimaev, putting him on his heels. Like Trevor Whitman even said to Kamaru Usman in his fight against Khamzat Chimaev that he's got to put him on his heels, he's got to follow his shadow. And that is great advice, and that's the fight you need to bring to Khamzat Chimaev if you're going to win. Especially if you're able to survive on the ground, you're able to get back up to your feet, you're able to survive just the first round, let's say, and the second round starts on the feet and you got to push the pace then. That's the game plan if I'm Robert Whittaker, and that's what you have to do. Now this is the time where we all make money, guys. Okay, so for the final prediction for this fight, what I really think is going to happen is that I don't think Khamzat Chimaev is going to struggle like he did. Not struggle, is that he's not gonna find as much resistance in the grappling exchanges, in the wrestling, in the takedown defense when he's fighting Robert Whittaker than he did against Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is one of the best MMA wrestlers we've ever seen. Robert Whittaker is not on Kamaru Usman's level, in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. I love Robert Whittaker, guys. This is just my honest reaction and my honest prediction because I want him to make as much money as possible. With that being said, I think Chimaev is gonna dominate the grappling exchanges in this fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see an early TKO like we usually do with Khamzat Chimaev. An early submission, an early TKO, but that is not my actual prediction. And another thing that I do have to mention is that Khamzat Chimaev has never gone 5 rounds, so if Robert Whittaker is able to survive those grappling exchanges and push the pace to Khamzat Chimaev, the whole fight changes, and that's what gets everyone excited for this fight as well. But with the way I see this fight going, I feel like Khamzat Chimaev, if I'm him at least, because it's a 5-round fight, I don't think he's going to go balls to the wall right off the bat like we usually see him do against the guy he doesn't respect in the grappling department. I feel like he's going to be more calculated. I feel like he is going to take the fight to the ground in the first round, but I'm going to bet on Robert Whittaker surviving the first round and then Khamzat Chimaev taking him down in the second round. And I'm saying this, but I feel like I want to switch it. But so what I was going to say is Khamzat Chimaev is going to take Robert Whittaker down in the second round and finish him by TKO. I might switch that to a first round one, but I'm going to go second round. I'm going to stick to my original statement. Second round TKO via ground and pound. Khamzat Chimaev is going to win.